see us?
Good morning. I'm Beth Wood-Roig, your worship associate this morning. My pronouns are she and her. It's good to see you here and welcome you to this hour of worship. We come together to share in life's meaning, grow in care and community, and open our hearts and minds to the sacred truth known by many names. Whatever your heritage, however your history, and whomever you love, you are welcome here. If you're with us for the first time, we're especially glad that you have decided to join us today. Please feel free to sign our virtual guest book. There's a link to the chat, in the chat. It's completely safe, and we would love to help support you on your spiritual journey. Or if you're in the sanctuary, you can sign the actual guest book, which is in the lobby at the visitors table. If you're visiting us today, would you like to introduce yourself so that we can welcome you? Yes.
I will reintroduce my wife and I, Emily and Jess Brockmeyer, Emily Mills.
It's been a little while. Welcome back. Good to see you.
And we also brought some friends. This is Carissa Sikora and and Zoe and Xavier.
Welcome. We're glad you're here. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone on Zoom? I don't have anything where I can see that, so please speak up if you're here to welcome yourself. We have a couple announcements today. Kim Roberts as the first one.
Well, if you haven't noticed, posted all over the sanctuary out in the hall, we have information that our Serendipity auction is back live and here. It's a vintage theme, and we're looking for donations. I have a list on the door of the coffee room. If you're stumped for ideas, we have plenty of ideas. The kind of things that we have done really well are having dinners at people's homes, any events or services that people can offer, like picking up trash and taking it to the dump. Sometimes people offer to paint a room, things like that. So, but you'll see those ideas over there. And I just wanted to let you know that our theme is vintage TV. So depending upon your age, vintage TV could be anywhere from the Honeymooners to Friends, with a whole bunch of Brady Bunch family TV together events in between. And we're going to have special Emmys for the best costumes in a comedy, drama, sci-fi, or Western. And Brenna's going to challenge us to a rousing game of Name That Theme Song, so you'll have prizes for that. And you may note that we were going to have a food truck, but we've decided instead to offer the kind of food that you might have gotten if you went to the Cleavers or if Alice cooked for you for the Brady Bunch. So there might even be a couple fish sticks in there. So hope to see you.
And our next announcement comes from Cindy Veit.
Good morning. I don't know if you all are aware, but for years, Marty has taken all our recyclables to the dump. And I'd like to surprise him by getting rid of a bunch of cardboard he's scrunched down in the shed. So if anybody could just take a box or a little bit of cardboard and put it in your own personal recycling today, maybe we can clear that out and surprise him. Thanks a lot.
Thanks to both of you. We offer our gratitude to everyone who has worked so hard to make today's service a reality.
Sorry, everybody. I will do it again. And in fact, before I start, I want to make a correction that I noticed in the order of service. This song was actually written by a guy named David Mallett, and it was adapted by Pete Seeger. So here we go, round 2. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All you need is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please keep them safe below till the rains come tumbling down. So you've heard the chorus now. You can sing it along with me when we get there. Pulling weeds, picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. Need a place to call my own, for the time is near at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way through nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music of the land. Here we go. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All you need is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please keep them safe below till the rains come tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her love and care. An old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Here we go. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All you need is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds I sow. Please keep them safe below till the rains come tumbling down. Till the rains come tumbling down.
That was beautiful, Brenna. Thank you. And thank you for the correction. I never knew Pete Seeger didn't write that song. So life-changing information. Buenos dias, familia. Buenos dias. Good morning. It's so good to see you today. I'm the Reverend Maria McCabe. My pronouns are she, her, and ella, and it's a joy and a privilege, as always, to be here with you on a Sunday morning. I add my welcome to visitors and to those who are back after a long time. It's so nice to see your faces here. As we enter our time of worship, I ask us to remember that the land on which this fellowship sits is the ancestral land of the Susquehannock people. I ask us to remember their culture, their heritage, and their presence among us. Welcome to this time. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Harford County. We make this space sacred by being together, whether we're on Zoom together, whether we're here in the sanctuary. It is our presence and our desire to be in community that makes this place sacred. This is where all of you is welcome, where your doubts are every bit as welcome as your certainties, your questions every bit as welcome as your answers, your anger, your suffering, your joy, your delight. All of you is welcome. It's where we come to renew our spirits, and to remind ourselves after these years of turmoil and isolation and all the stuff, remind ourselves of the beauty of being in community and being together. As we begin, I'd like to light a candle and ask us to hold a moment of silence for the people of Ukraine and the people of Russia. Sending, if you wish, light and healing energy and hope that this war of conquest will end soon. So the wheel of the year is turning, and I'm personally sorry to see that there are brown leaves starting to fall on the ground, and sigh, the temperature is going down. I know I'm probably the only one in this room who thinks that way. And this coming time for harvest and for the bounty of summer to start becoming more narrow. Today I'm sharing with all of you a different kind of harvest, not the beautiful harvest that we're all enjoying from the fields and the land, but the harvest of the Spirit. The harvest of a faith tradition like ours and so many others, which is a harvest of hope, which is a vision that has been carried and that we have carried and our ancestors in our faith have carried for thousands of years. It feels to me like in a time of where hatred and division is growing, that a harvest of hope is more needed than ever. And maybe if you're like me, you need to feel it more too. It's easy to get discouraged. I've said to some of you already, and I'll give you a disclaimer now, I'm pretty fired up about this. So if someone, if you need to go like this or like this, feel free. I'll try to listen. But the fact is, I am really, really tired of the fact that the only story that seems to pervade our public square about religion and faith communities is a story about a small segment of our nation. A small segment that is taking credit for reversing or annihilating Roe v. Wade, that is behind the push to disenfranchise tens of millions of voters because of their race or ethnicity. I'm tired of that being the only story. I'm tired of feeling or being made to feel that somehow those of us who identify as liberals or progressives or even leftists, that our voice no longer counts. And I'm here to share with you today the fact that that is not true. That is not true. That the voice for hope, the voice for mercy, for love, for compassion, for human rights, the voice for hope is still loud and strong. And we can take comfort in that. All right, dear ones. Let us come into the worship, and I'm asked Beth to help me with this with a beautiful reading from the Reverend John Burens, who was president of the UUA for many years, and the Reverend Rebecca Parker, and it's called Hope Rises. Hope rises.
It rises from the heart of life here and now, beating with joy and sorrow.
Hope longs.
It longs for good to be affirmed, for justice and love to prevail, for suffering to be alleviated, and for life to flourish in peace.
Hope remembers.
It remembers the dreams of those who have gone before and reaches for connection with them across the boundary of death.
Hope acts.
It acts to bless to protect, and to repair.
Welcome home to this house of hope, beloveds. Let us worship together. Beth, would you help us light our chalices?
Our chalice lighting, let's see, I'll light first. Let's do that. Our chalice lighting is by the Reverend Kimberly Ann Tomzek Cancer. I hope I said it correctly. We are a people of beauty. Recognizing the beauty around us and within us, in voice and spirit, we gather to light our chalice. May we savor the beauty of our abundance and diversity, always cherishing one another and our earth. May we remember to inhale the lushness in life, knowing that we are a people of beauty. Our opening hymn this morning is 1054, Let This Be a House of Peace.
Let this be a house of peace, of nature and humanity, of sorrow and elation. Let this be our house, a haven for the healing, an open room for question and our inspiration. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of freedom, guardian of dignity and worth held deep inside us. Let this be a house, a platform for the free voice, where all our sacred differences here shall not divide. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. Let all in this house seek truth, where scientists and mystics abide in reverence here. Let this be a house of our creation, where works of art and melodies consecrate the atmosphere. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of prophecy. May vision for our children be our common theme. Let this be our house of myth and lore and legend, a trove of ancient story and cradle of our tender dreams. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace. Let this be a house of peace.
Thank you. Our time for all ages today is a video read aloud of Amanda Gorman's book. Amanda Gorman, you probably know, was the poet laureate who electrified all of us during President Biden's inauguration. And she wrote this book, and it's beautiful, it's called Change Sings. I would tap dance, but we don't want that.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Sankofa Read Aloud. Today's story is titled Change Sings, a Children's Anthem. Words by Amanda Gorman, Pictures by Loren Long. I not only hope that you enjoy this amazing story, but that you also support the author with a purchase of this book. I can hear change humming in its loudest, proudest song. I don't fear change coming, and so I sing along. I scream with the skies of red and blue streamers. I dream with the cries of tried and true dreamers. I'm a chant that rises and rings. There is hope where my change sings. Though some don't understand it, those windmills of mysteries, I sing with all the planet and its hills of histories. I hum with 100 hearts, each of us lifting a hand. I use my strengths and my smarts, take a knee to make a stand. I'm bright as the light each day brings. There is love where my change sings. I show others tolerance, though it might take some courage. I don't make a taller fence, but fight to build a better bridge. I talk not only of distances, from where and how we came. I also walk our differences to show that we are the same. I'm a movement that roars and springs. There's a wave where my change sings. Change sings where? There, inside me, because I'm the change I want to see. As I grow, it grows like seeds. I am just what the world needs. I'm the voice where freedom rings. You're the love your bright heart brings. We are the wave starting to spring, for we are the change we sing. We're what the world is becoming, and we know it won't be long. We all hear change strumming. Won't you sing along?
So, dear ones, I bought extra copies of this book. And if there was anyone who would like to, I have two. I didn't buy a whole lot, but I have two. So if anyone would like to have one for your children or your grandchildren or your classroom, please feel free to take one. This is the time in our service where we have our candles of sharing, and thanks to Kim, we actually have our candles back. They look so majestic, it feels like we shouldn't even burn them, right? They look beautiful. Thank you, Kim. This is a time where we have, where we're able to share in community our joys, our sorrows, whatever we're carrying in our heart this morning as we come to gather together. You are welcome here in the sanctuary. If you'd like to come up to, we actually are going to have two microphones this morning. I'm not sure if this one's turned on, but we can turn it on. And then if you'd like to light a candle, you're welcome to do so. If you are joining us via Zoom, please let me know in the chat if you would like to share, and we'll be happy to call on you so you can do so and light a candle for you. Two quick reminders. Please, this is not a time for church announcements. We can announce things at the end of the service also. And if you want to share somebody else's story, I just ask that you make sure you have their permission. So please come forward. All right, Beth, will you help us with the words of our offering?
Friends, the voices of progressive faith communities have been silenced, sometimes even by big money. Donations given in exchange for a watering down of the core message of justice, love, and compassion. And yet there has never been a greater need for progressive, inclusive, and loving religious community. We come to you for your support of our mission, our staff, and the everyday needs of keeping our doors open. We've made it easy for you to share your generosity. We are putting the link in the chat for Zoom folks right now for you to click and make your contribution securely via credit card, or obtain our address if you'd like to mail a check. That's www.uufhc.net. We thank each and every one of you for your support. Blessed be. And now we invite you to enjoy this musical interlude by artist Ziggy Marley entitled "Love Is My Religion."
Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. I'll take you to the temple tonight. All my days I've been searching to find out what this life is worth. Through the books and Bibles of time, but I've made up my mind. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is the calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold, 'cause no one's gonna lose their soul. I tell you now, love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Yeah, you can take it or leave it. You don't have to believe it. I don't want to fight. Hey, let's go fly a kite. There's nothing we can't cure. I'll keep you in my heart for sure. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. I tell you now, love is my religion. You can take it or leave it. You don't have to believe it. Well, I'm done searching now. I found out what this life is worth. Not in the books did I find, but searching, searching my mind. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is the calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold, 'cause no one's gonna lose their soul. I tell you, love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. You can take it or leave it. You don't have to believe it. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. You can take it or leave it. Now do you believe it?
Ooh, thank you. That was beautiful. So the reading I'd like to share with you today, not unlike the world's most famous affidavit, is highly redacted. Oh, good, I'm glad you got it. I was worried there for a minute. So this is called This Ain't No Country Club by Nathan Walker. There's no time to be spinning around ourselves saying, we're so small, We're a minority religion, as if minority is somehow equivalent to inferior. No, the real problem is when we diminish our institutional self-worth by trying to be a social club religion. Why aren't we doing this? Why are we not doing that? What have they been doing all year? Why isn't anyone volunteering? And do you know what she said? That she did? What he said he would do but didn't do? And where's my Splenda? Preoccupations with idle chatter are a kind of self-poisoning. Maybe we should excommunicate such petty banter. Maybe it's time that we remember our progressive and visionary path that liberates future generations from the theological labyrinth of despair. Maybe it's time that we have the courage to remember what we are, a collective force for justice and mercy and compassion. Because we ain't no social club. We ain't no intellectual secret society, and we ain't no navel-gazing hum-diddy-dum cult. I like that line. It scans, you know. We are an intentionally diverse community. We are a group of people who seek to lead meaningful lives, to love one another without prejudice, and to build a just and sustainable world. Let's re-inject this mission into our DNA, and once and for all, spend less time in committees and more time in community. Thank you, Beth, for retrieving my sermon, which for the first time in 5 years I left on my desk. That's saying something. So in the mid-2000s, the Episcopal Diocese of Washington, D.C. initiated an investigation into their donors. The report they issued came to be called Following the Money. And what this report indicated was that a small group of mostly of family-owned foundations, had donated millions of dollars to destabilize the Episcopal Church in the United States. Millions of dollars were given to individuals or small groups in Episcopalian congregations of folks who disagreed with the Church's general trajectory toward providing human and civil rights for LGBTQ+ folks. The Church was on its way to sanctioning and accepting and affirming same-gender loving marriage. The Church was on its way to consecrating LGBTQ bishops. And there were folks who dissented from that. These millions of dollars were given to those folks to amplify their efforts, to do whatever was needed to make their message heard more loudly. Not only that, millions of those dollars went outside of the Episcopal Church to bishops in the Anglican Communion, which is the global organization to which the Episcopal Church belongs. And the idea was to drive a rift between the Anglican Communion and the Episcopal Church in the United States, because after all, we know, united we stand, divided we fall. And so those bishops were given money and encouraged to make their views not only known but amplified, and to call for a schism between the two bodies. There were bishops in the United States Episcopal Church who decided that they wanted to secede from the United States Episcopal Church and join the Anglican Communion. I'd like to share with you just the names, because some of these names of the foundations are well known. Again, they're family foundations. They are the Lynd and Harry Bradley Foundation, the Adolph Coors Foundation, the John M. Olin Foundation, which ceased operations about 15 years ago, the Smith Richardson Trust, and the Scaife Family Foundations. Now, everyone has the right to use their treasure and their time in pursuit of what they believe in. I have no quarrel with that happening. But I bring this up, and there's more to share. I bring this up because it may sound startling to you, as it did to me, to learn that not only has this effort occurred in the Episcopal Church, but in fact, since the 1970s. Remember what happened 50 years ago? Roe v. Wade. Starting in the 1970s, billions, this time it's billions with a B of dollars, have gone into destabilizing all so-called progressive, liberal, left-leaning religion in the United States. The National Committee for Responsible Philanthropy, and this is a quote, calls it an extraordinary effort to reshape politics and public policy priorities at the national, state, and local level. The primary recipient of all of these billions is an organization innocuously enough called the Institute for Religion and Democracy. I'm going to share another quote. This is from a fundraising letter this institute sent out to its supporters in the year 2000. Again, I quote. This was about their goals: to restructure the permanent governing structure of theologically flawed Protestant denominations, and to discredit and diminish the religious left's influence. I don't know about you, but that blew my squash when I read that. Why do that? It's not a rhetorical question. Why would that?
If you look at those family foundations, those are also major donors to the Republican Party and conservative causes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's another angle of attack at rolling back the 20th century.
Did you have your hand raised? I thought I saw another hand. Can't hear. Oh, you can't hear. So Ami is pointing out that these family foundations, and its fact is true, they are also major donors to the Republican Party. Anybody else have any ideas?
Yeah, I just say it's another way of getting a voice across, right? There's sort of the spiritual voice. So if you diminish that authority, it just gives more credence to the message.
Yeah. So thank you for playing. And I would add to what you have both said that people like us, people like this community and so many others would not be targeted if we did not represent somehow a threat to a particular agenda. And this is now my opinion, I'm not quoting anybody, but this is now my opinion, I would say to you that I believe, and the data does bear me out, that most of the people in this country don't agree with that narrow agenda. I mean, we've seen this. Most people do, whether they approve of abortion or not, personally, most people want us to have the choice, right? Most people believe that it is far past time to grant human rights, for heaven's sake, human rights to LGBTQ plus folks, to stop marginalizing people, right? To not disenfranchise voters. I mean, really, these are not majority views. Majority views are more aligned in many, many ways with the principles that we talk about here, principles, again, of mercy and love and compassion and justice. Why spend billions of dollars to silence us? And, you know, the fact of the matter is that according to the Pew Charitable Trust, who did a study just, I think this year actually that came out, there are still huge numbers and huge chunks of our population that identify as liberal and progressive. Many of them, they've left churches in droves, right? Left churches in droves because religion has been discredited, right? You know, we're corrupt, we're, you know, we practice vile, you know, we hurt our children, we do all kinds of bad things, and we disappoint one another, right? We disappoint one another because we're human. But even so, even with that kind of huge leaving of congregations and churches, there are still 19% of Catholics identify, current practicing Catholics identify as liberal or progressive. I mean, that's a lot. The voice that we have still, in spite of these 5 decades of attack, the voice that we have is strong. What you say, what you do, what we say, what we do here matters. It matters. I've gotten discouraged. You know, maybe you have too. It's been discouraged to be isolated. It's been discouraging to feel. I mean, when I told my friends and my family that I was going to seminary, they were like, "Are you nuts?" And you know, the 2016 election was not even a glimmer in anybody's eyes at that point, right? Are you nuts? That's corrupt. That's you know, that's. I said, well, it may be because we're human, but who else? Who else is talking about these things that really matter? You know? Not which political party wins, not that. But are we going to be a people of hope? When this republic, which was established with, you know, war and bloodshed and colonialism and every bad word I can think of that I can say in a pulpit, still, at the core of this republic is hope. Is hope and equality, as poorly as it was implemented then and sometimes even now. Hope and equality, hope in human progress, hope in a better vision for society. And I would argue that most of the people, our peers in this nation, still believe in that. Still are inspired by that vision. As hard as it is sometimes. That's what we have to share. That's what we have to share. John Burens, who is one of the authors of the reading I shared with you, Beth and I shared with you earlier this morning, has gotten discouraged too, even though he's a lifelong active Unitarian Universalist. He says, many liberals, consciously or not, seem to prefer that their religious institutions remain weak, underfunded, or distracted by endless attention to process and checks on the exercise of power. Too much money, power, or organization, it is feared, will lead to corruption. Well, too much money, power, can very much lead to corruption, right? And what are we missing? You know, what might we be missing if we're more afraid of who we can become than we are hopeful about who we might become? My message to you this morning is not that you have to go running out into the streets and carrying signs. I mean, if you want to, that's great. I'm in. I love carrying signs. I do. I think it's a really powerful way of standing witness and praying with our bodies. My message to you this morning is to invite you and perhaps encourage you to think differently about what it is that we're doing here. Like many other congregations, we have problems to resolve, to work through, conflicts, differences. Yes, I don't diminish that for a minute. But the greater purpose, the greater possibility that resides here is so powerful that billions of dollars are being spent to shut it down. United we stand, divided we fall. Ashe, amen, and blessed be. So our closing hymn is a hymn formerly known as Standing by the Side of Love. And the author of that hymn, Jason Shelton, had a deep conversation several years ago with a group of disability activists in the Unitarian Universalist Association, who said to him, every time we hear that phrase, standing on the side of love, and we are confined to our wheelchairs and scooters, it hurts. And so he changed the words. Right? He changed the words. And so that's what we're going to sing. We're going to sing the same song you all know, but instead of standing on the side of love, we are answering the call of love. Okay? I invite you to rise in body or spirit.
Soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are standing on the side of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love.
Thank you all. Thank you, Brenna. So I invite you this week as you go forth after our postlude and enjoy the goodies and the coffee that has been made. Encourage you to continue answering the call of love. Find moments when you can do that. As small as the action might be, find moments when you can do that. Blessings on you as you go forth. And let's share our postlude. Thank you, Brenna.
Taking my freedom, putting it off the shelf, putting it on my chain, wearing it round my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car, wherever I choose to go. It will take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden, golden. I'm taking my own freedom, putting it in my song, singing it loud and strong, grooving all day long. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my strong, be high stepping young, let the joy unfold. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden, golden. I'm holding on to my freedom, you take it from me. I was born into it, it comes naturally. I'm strumming my own freedom, playing the goddess in me, living in my glory, so I can be proud of me. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden, golden, living my life. Ooh, I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. I'm living my life. Ooh, I'm living my life, living my life like it's golden, golden. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 like it's golden, golden. Living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. Woo.
So Beryl's not here, I'll say it. That's all, folks.
And Kim said there's really good snacks today, so make your way to the coffee room.